How is everyone today? Can everybody hear me okay? I see Dee Dee and Amanda and Karen at Queen City Arts. Welcome. And if you're watching and you want to join us, there is chat going on. I talk to people over in the chat room, and they log in, and if you don't have a username, get yourself a username at Ustream and just log in, and then you can chat with us, and I would love to have you with us. My name is Leslie Ray. I'm going to give it a few more minutes to let more people come in. And my water. Let's see. I have my phone turned down. I'm hoping somebody will tell me they can hear me in a minute. Can anyone hear me? Hi, Aunt Joy. Hi, Dawn. Can y'all hear me? Hello? Hello? Anyone? Okay. Thank you, Dawn. I had been moving stuff around, and I wanted to make sure people could hear me. Thank you for answering. So tonight is the end of June. I've been trying to get online to stream with you guys since the beginning of June, and kind of catch you up on what's been going on in my life, and let you know I'm still alive and well, and that I'm okay, but things just kept going awry. So what I ended up doing was I was going to try to get on last week, and that would have been my normal week to stream. But Sam came home, and I hadn't seen Sam in 2 weeks. And so instead we had a girls' weekend until the boys came home. And I'm glad I did, because, you know, I hadn't seen her, and we needed to love on each other. But I wanted to get back into streaming, and I wanted to do it this week because I wanted to make sure I saw y'all for my stream anniversary. So we've been streaming, guys, for 2 years. This last year has been kind of crazy. We've had some ups and downs while I've been dealing with concussion issues. And you'll probably hear more about that as things go on. I have a plan started. I'm going to be kind of lobbying our school to do a return to learn policy. And it might go further than that. I don't know yet. We will see if it does or not. But in the meantime, definitely for the school, I want to do that. So I will be doing that with some arty things, but I'll also have some other stuff that I'm doing it with. So welcome, Crystal. Said hi to Dee Dee earlier. Welcome, other guests. I think one of them is me. I bumped myself off when I refreshed earlier, and there you go. But what I have been doing, I've been doing a lot of crafting lately. You just haven't seen me on the air. Most recently, I did this piece. I did it for my Fairy Day blog hop. And this is from a kit from the company Leaky Shed Studios. This is not my actual piece of chipboard. But my own chipboard line will be coming out very, very soon. We got kind of behind between all the stuff going on in my life, and then the company had some things that were taking precedence. So we are back on track, and that is what we will be doing soon. So, isn't that fun? I love this. Is it choppy for you, Amanda? Is anybody else experiencing choppiness? Amanda, are you hardwired in, or are you on Wi-Fi tonight? I'm realizing that Ustream has been really ugly with Wi-Fi lately. Okay. Well, anyway, I've been looking at some things online, and there is a gentleman named Andy Skinner. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He is, I believe he's from London or somewhere over there in England. And he is a mixed media artist, and he does this amazing stenciling work and stuff. But I think what is probably one of the more fabulous things that I've seen of his is some of his altered bottles. And so I emptied me a bottle here, and there's several approaches. I have not taken his class. I do want to take his class to see how he does some of his techniques. But then looking at those, I went and I looked at a bunch of other stuff that I really, 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 really liked. And so I'm going to take this bottle and do some stuff to it that I think should work based on what I have been researching and reading. And so what I did was I consumed said bottle, and then I got all the labels off, but I really didn't pay attention to getting all of the adhesive off. If you look really close, you can kind of see some of the adhesive. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Because I'm going to be using the fast finish decoupage that Beacon does, and it says that it will bond and seal paper and fabrics to wood, glass, metal, and ceramic. So we're going to try this. But rather than just going for it willy-nilly, I really think I want to sand it. Something just tells me it needs a tooth. So I've been sanding it for about 45 minutes to an hour now. I've got it sanded pretty good in most places. Sometimes around the humps, not so much. Thank you. I'm using just a nail file, as you see, because, well, I have tons of these in my craftiness. It was roughly like 100 grit, okay? So that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to move my cup of water out of the way, and so that I don't dip out of my container like I tend to do. I'm going to pour some of the fast finish decoupage into a cup and use it out of the cup. And what I want to do is, rather than put any other surface material on here, there's like some glass enamel adhesive type products that you can put on this to make it a lot. Trying to find a better angle here with the light. Is that better, guys, for the light? Rather than using some sort of glass prep material, I'm going to use tissue paper on here because I'm not worried about the transparency of the bottle since it's an amber bottle, but I want it to stick, so that's why I sanded it. So this is kind of an experiment, and that's why this is my soft return, not my hard return. Maybe that's a little better. Can y'all see better? Sorry, I'm jacking with the light. I wasn't liking the way the light looked on the screen. So I'm going to use my favorite base here, tissue paper. And I'm going to make a couple of coats of tissue paper with my fast finish decoupage. And then we might want to stick in some other fun stuff to go with it. But you'll see I'm using a brush that had some stuff in it. It's okay. That's another reason not to go and stick your brush down in your Mod Podge, because this is a brush that I was dry brushing with, and I thought I had all the paint out, but obviously I don't. So right now, for this first layer, I'm just kind of painting this on. Now, for the fast finish Mod Podge or decoupage, it asks that you don't use a sponge brush unless you want bubbles, because a sponge brush tends to bubble. So that's why I went and got my old standby dirty brush, because if I ruin this brush, it's okay. But we also, at the same time, we should be able to go in and wash this out with water. So, we'll see. Welcome back, Dawn. Glad you could join me back. So, I'm just tearing the tissue paper off and layering it. Now, if I wanted this bottle to be white or a light color when I was finished, I would probably do this process and then, one, make sure my brush was completely clean, but also I would then gesso it. But I'm thinking this might become something steampunky, and I want it to have the metallic look anyway, so this works into my plan. So I've been using this product a little bit. I just recently got it this past month, and I like it. It's different than Mod Podge. It seems to dry quicker. It's definitely liquidier, more liquidy, or liquidier, whichever you prefer. And I used it in a technique with the fairy house where I was putting pattern paper onto some paper mache boxes, and it worked very, very well for that, and it dried very quickly for that. So I'm trying to make sure, if you're noticing me picking the paper back up sometimes, I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting the glue underneath and on top. Yes, this is the Beacon brand on. You like this brand. I've seen you using it before. So, next month is July. You think it smells? See, well, it does kind of. You're right. It does if you go and stick your nose up in it. But I'm working under, by a fan. I have a fan going, and I am not being bothered by it. So, but for that matter, Mod Podge smells. So, I think they all smell a little bit. But this one is drying very fast, because this over here is almost dry. Now, Normally, to help things dry, I would do something like heat it, but this is a bottle, people, and I don't have time to go to the doctor to get treated for burns, so we're not going to heat it. We're gonna drudge along. We're gonna keep moving. We're going to paint and move and paint and move so that we don't get burned, or not get burned, but you know, have it all built up in one spot. So in July, does anybody remember what July is for me? It's when I start crafting a certain season. And I'm very excited because I should have my new chipboard to craft with for my July shows. And you're going to love it. It's so cool to work with. The fairy house is made with a kit. And I have a post that I'll be doing on Sunday using the kit again, and I'll post with it a video of what comes in the kit, because it is a ton of stuff and it is so super duper cool. You're gonna want it. You're gonna love it. Love it, love it, love it. Ooh, Don? What are we oohing about? I've got at least one layer on here, and now I'm going in with a second layer. And after this layer, I'm going to start, after the second layer, I'm going to start adding some things under my tissue paper. Or maybe on top. I'm going to add some stuff in here that I think would be fun. So is everybody having a glorious summer? We have our glorious summer right now. Temperatures today went to about 106, I think is what it said at one point. I think Bill's saying 108. And it's still 100 outside right now. I know Jean from Altered Pages said it was 121 outside. I was talking to Wendy from Leaky Shed yesterday, and she said it was 118. I'm glad I do not live in Arizona. That's all I'm saying about that. Or Nevada. I'm sure it's so hot there. Unbelievably hot. So, but I'll take my 103, 106 any day over those others. Because at some point, you just go, ugh, and want to just die. Very hot wind. Yeah, it is a very hot wind. If you're under the shade, thankfully, it doesn't feel like that. But, wow. And we're going to have a cold front move in next week. It's going to be a high of 88. Everybody will probably have pneumonia or something after that, because, gee whiz. Has it gotten that hot where you are, Joy? Or is it a little bit cooler up closer to where you are? things I am grateful for this year. I am grateful for not being in a fireworks stand right now. Normally, for many, many years, my husband and I would operate a fireworks stand, and then we would manage several more. And so we just stayed at the fireworks stand. We camped out by it. And usually it was really hot this week. And then the days around the 4th of July, it would cool off just a little and usually rain. And sometimes it would torrentially rain. And that's always fun when you're in a tent. But so I'm grateful. I am not doing that this season. So we haven't done that since way before Sam was born. It was between Will and Sam that we decided that was not as much fun as we wanted to have anymore. So you would die. Tenting in the fireworks stand or just being where the 100-degree weather is. So it's just awful. The sickest we ever were as a family was in a tent beside the fireworks stand. And the lady who managed the gas station that was next door to where we were felt bad for us. And because we would go there and get ice and water and just, go die. And she would leave. She's not supposed to, but she would leave the bathroom doors unlocked for us at night. So we could go over there. One, the bathrooms were air conditioned, which was divine. But two, we, had a place to be when we were sick. I'm so glad we've never been that sick ever again. But, gee whiz. That was crazy sick. Okay. I'm kind of liking how that's looking. I think just a little smidge more here. I'm not sure how far we'll get with this tonight. We're just going to play it by ear. If we don't get, well, I know we won't finish, but I'll be sure to record the rest of how I get it covered and stuff. So I'm going to turn it up so I can work on the lip right now. Wow, Amanda, you've got quite the lag time. So if you're wondering about my boo-boo, he's doing much better. I believe the last time we talked, he was having trouble getting it back together, getting back to himself. And he has been taking a drug called amantadine now for going on 6 weeks maybe. And it kind of helps with the dopamine levels so that his brain starts, snapping on all cylinders again. So we are pleased with that. So he is doing fine and enjoying summer and getting some activities. He can ride his bike again and things like that. So he's very happy to start having some of those freedoms again. Because all that was taken away. He couldn't do a lot of that stuff. And so now it's much, much better. We've got to finish 7th grade. He's got some work to do to get done with that, but he's been working on that through the summer, and I believe he will finish that on task, just like he should. There's no reason for him not to. So we will be ready for 8th grade when 8th grade comes. But your Aflac commercials in Spanish. Did you say no habla español, Aflac? Lately they've been showing, I've been watching some other artists, and lately they've been showing the Italian dressing guy that is muy caliente. So that's always fun to watch. I'm glad Will is feeling better too, Dawn. I would say he'll come by and say hi, but I think he went and fell asleep because he has been going out and playing construction worker with my boss's family. They have a contracting business, and so he's been doing that. I am adding on one more layer with hand without adding any more glue on, because when I tried to move that while ago, it was very wet. So that's what I'm doing, if you're wondering what I'm doing. So. I don't know that I've ever covered a bottle. I know I've painted them before. Hi, Mommy. But I don't know that I've ever covered them before. Oh, no. Yeah, be careful with the commercials. They can get loud. For anybody who's new, Mommy is my mom. Paula is my mom. I call her Mommy. So. That's just sticking super well. Cool. I don't know if you saw my Digital Delights card the other day. I dipped a cotton swab in the fast finish decoupage, and then I just kind of dipped it in some glitter, and I used that to glue some glitter down as like a little edging. Let me get that. I'm going to make it all altered and fun looking. See how the glitter is on there, guys? That was me dipping a cotton swab into the glue and then just dipping it into the glitter and just kind of brushing it on. Isn't that fun? Think of it as a learning experience. You get to learn how to do a bottle. Mom, I'm gonna make it pretty. I don't know what exactly I want to do with it, but I want to cover it and make it pretty. Make it steampunky. Although I might have some cogs here. That would be kind of fun too. So, alright, a little more there. That's the neat thing about tissue paper, is it will take and absorb stuff for you really nicely. Now, Andy Skinner, with his stuff, he will add clay and all kinds of neat things to add dimension, which are wonderful. That is not doing like I want it to do. Add some glue right there. I want that to stay. We're not going to add clay today. Clay looks fun, but one, I don't have a clay that, well, I do have some paper clay that air dries. I was going to say I don't have a clay that air dries, but I do have paper clay. But I don't have a way. I would be afraid to bake the bottle if I use like a female or something right now. So I haven't tested that, to see what that would do. And here. Okay. I can pretty much touch every spot. It's pretty dry. The reason I'm not using my heat tool again is because it's glass and it tends to get hot when you use your heat tool. So, and the reason I used a brush rather than a sponge is because it said not to, unless you wanted bubbles. Okay. So some things I want to add in to my bottle. I want to add in some beads. And I'm going to start with a couple of these beads that I had used these beads for another project, but some of the beads didn't have holes, or their holes were not all the way through. And so I just kind of pulled them over to the side. And I'm going to start with those because they're there. So I can use everything. And to help hold the beads, I'm going to go ahead and just use some craft glue. And then when I go over it with the paper, I will add in the Mod Podge on top. So I'm just going to I want them just here and there, no particular place. So, see if I can get. See if I can get the side that has a partial hole, right? There we go. So see, I'm sticking them on here. Could I use some of the tissue paper like Will used on my box? Sure. But right now I'm using just white tissue paper because I'm going to go over it with some, what do you call it? Paper. Not paper, paint. These are just going to be like little globs of beads under here. There. So I have my little beads stuck on here, kind of in a row. And then I will go back over it after they dry a little bit more with some tissue paper. And I think I want to keep them down here I don't know that I necessarily want to make a border of them, but I want to keep them down here. Now, I like these beads because of their size. Smaller beads would be okay too. If you had like a gem tack or something like that, you could probably use that instead of Beacon 3-in-1. But the Beacon 3-in-1 is holding everybody in place, so I am fine using that. So nobody's going to guess what we're doing in July? Do I have to just come out and tell you? Surely somebody knows what we're going to do in July. Are we going to melt? Yeah, we might melt in July. Snow would melt in July. We're not going to do melting on live television or live view stream. We'll save that for somebody else to do. We're going to do Christmas projects in July. How fun! I'm very excited. You should be too, because I get to use my new stuff, and you'll get to see my new stuff. Yes, Joy, actually, this stick is like a little mini skewer, but it's thicker than the skewers like you normally get. When I was at Chili's one night or maybe it was at lunch, because I don't go to Chili's at night. When I was at Chili's at lunch, I'd had their sliders plate, and they came with the sticks like that in them. And I didn't want sticks that had been, skewered through my food. I asked if she could bring me a couple of sticks, and she did. So we are not moving in July. We are not, I repeat, we are not having a baby. Period. We are done having babies. My mother is such a funny person. I thought we agreed we were all done having babies with that. With the last baby, who is now 7. We'll leave having babies to somebody else. You could say my new chipboard would be kind of like having a baby, because I'll have a new chipboard. That'll be fun. So I need to get the glue off the end of my stick. Now it's sticking to my beads. So Joy, you use beads in your mosaics a lot too, don't you? That's why you're envious of my stick. Well, see, like Tim Holtz's pokey tool is too small for the holes. They would just kind of slide up and down it. So that is just perfect. I like the way that is. It's just hanging out around my bottle. Okay. And now I'm going to, I think I'm going to add some up here as well. I know I said guess, Mommy, but a baby, really? That's just crazy talk. So can y'all believe that we are beginning the 3rd season of Crafty Gig? That is just amazing to me. Like I said, last year was kind of crazy. We did the best we could under the circumstances. But had to get my boo-boo better. And hopefully this year, that is not going to be an issue for us. That is our goal. Yeah, they are doing ads 2 in a row. I know the other day it was easier when I popped out the chat and popped out the video. So, see, y'all have been missing all the ads. There's a way that I can set these up where you have to pay, but I don't know if they would be ad-free if you pay. We could, if y'all want to test that, like make it for like $1 or something. We can see if y'all want to do that one day, but I don't know that people will want to pay to come see my show, so I'm kind of torn on that. I mean, it is Crafty Gig. We are kind of silly. Yeah, gotta get the glue off of my stick again. So with this summer, we've had lots and lots of people traveling, including my boss. She has, she just came back a week or so ago from a group trip, and she has another group trip planned at the end of July to Jamaica. And then she is going to a special travel expo that she was invited to. Bye, Mommy. Thanks for coming by. And so she goes to that also at the end of July, 1st of August. And then school will be back in August. So summer's going super fast. And then we've got people going all over the world this year. It's crazy. We got people going to Europe. We got people going to Tahiti. We got people Of course, going to Disneyland and Disney World, Canada, Alaska. And then we've got people going to on cruises, Mexico, Jamaica, all that. Ooh, we have people that went to Atlantis. We're going to Seattle in August. That'll be fun. Are you doing anything special for Seattle in August? You would like for me to put tempered glass on something this summer? That would be fun. I'll have to come to your house and do tempered glass. Because I have no tempered glass here. Well, unless I go break something. I'm trying not to do that. Because when you break things, then you have to repair them. And that takes away your fun money. So. Okay, here is, okay, I have beads around the top and beads around the bottom. Going to a couple of basketball games. Oh yeah, we have people going to Boston to go see Red Sox games. That's going to be fun for them. She's like a big-time Boston fan, so they're going to see some Red Sox games, and then they're going to go and see some minor league games too. And Deidre just got back from Boston. That's where her trip was to Boston and Newfoundland. Alright, so I got some more tissue paper to go around my beads. Start with the bottom. And I'm gonna put the liquid over, and then put this. Cool. I've seen the Mariners play here in Texas. It's been a long time. I haven't been to a game in a long time. I would like to take the boys and the girl and go. We got through our baseball season and softball season. Sam played softball for the first time. And, well, we should say we all played softball for the first time. We had, I had played softball once when I worked for Safeway on a company team. But other than that, I don't ever remember playing softball. We didn't play it in school. And I don't ever remember playing softball. You have a whole new patio door to break, or that we don't want to break. And then Will did not actually play because of his concussion, but his coach let him kind of be coach's helper and bat boy, that kind of thing. And so we went to games and stuff, went to see his team play, and his team played very well. And we really enjoyed it. And we were kind of hoping his coach would stay on for next year so that Will could have him. But he'll be stepping down as coach so he can, spend more time with his kid and be more of a spectator than the coach. So that will be good. Okay, some of these I'm kind of tapping around a little bit so that you can see the holiness of the bead coming through. See how Oops, sorry. See how right there, those are covered, and you kind of see them coming through. I really haven't, because I don't have a Hobby Lobby near me, and when I did go to Hobby Lobby when I was in Arlington, Joy, I didn't hang out what the glass was. I hung out where the beads were, and I looked at the scrappy stuff with Sam, and then I went over and looked at the model stuff for Will, because he's doing some models, and so that's kind of what I did. I didn't really pay attention to anything else, and I know there's a jillion things at Hobby Lobby, but yeah, tempered glass is pretty cool. I think it would be a lot of fun to have some little glass pieces to put on bottles and then paint them, like we said, with alcohol inks and stuff. Especially now that I have almost the entire collection of Spectrum Noir pens, and then and I'm starting to work on getting the refillers. And with the refillers, I will be able to do all kinds of cool techniques and stuff. So that is my next big adventure, is getting some refillers. But I got a really tremendous deal through Dick Blick to get the pens, so that they were almost 40% of their actual cost. So Bill tries not to let me break glass in the house anymore, because it's not good. I did get for Christmas, year before last, a glass cutting device that you can take round bottles and cut. And it has a learning curve. I've done some with it, but I need to practice some more to do it properly. Now, I just used these beads because this is what I had out and left over from a project that I was working on. If I cared to, like, because you can see the beads through, you see the beads through the tissue paper. If I was wanting the beads to actually be seen, I would probably have chosen a brown bead or a gold bead or something like that. These beads will have paint over them, so they're not going to matter as much. Okay. There we go. And this is my last Bido bead. I am gluing some beads down. So I've gone all the way around, and I'm only going to put one coat of tissue paper on here, because the tissue paper is just holding them on for the next phase. So when I paint them, they're not going to just fall off. Okay. And this really is dry, very dry to the touch now. Drier more so than it even was when I started putting the beads on. So I really like how fast this dries. I didn't put a heat tool to it or anything. The fan I've got going is a good 7 feet away, so I don't think that that's giving it any extra oomph to dry. So it really is fast finish, like it says on the bottle. Cool, huh? Joy is saying she's telling us about the beads, or not the beads, the glass, and she was saying that she got a brand new patio door. To what she does is she takes the door, breaks it up, and then uses the crushed tempered glass and arts with it. It's really cool. We had an upcycled blog hop back in April for Earth Day, and you can see some of her artwork there, and she does a really neat job. I love it. And she said she's got a brand new one to crack, and you have to wrap it up because it will explode. So I bet that's fun to do if you're wanting to get aggression out. But already I go places and I see little pieces of wood, and I think they're cute and that they need to come home with me. In fact, right to the right of me is 2 little pieces of wood I picked up at my boss's house because they're doing a project and have been cutting cabinets and shelving and stuff and converting a box fan into a rig to go do whatever you call that, the dirt bike racing. Their son is going to a camp, and they wanted something that they could take the dirt bike in and camp okay, but also use it to take to races and stuff, because he's a pretty good little rider. And so they're converting this van, and they have all these cute little pieces of wood hanging out. And so I went and dug around and got me some cute little pieces of wood, because I like cute little pieces of wood. Yeah, I like the finish. The finish of this, Dawn is commenting that she likes the finish of the fast finish decoupage. I'm going to use it next in my art journal and see how it does. Because sometimes, depending on how moist it is in the air, sometimes it will take my art journal a while to dry if I've used much Mod Podge in it. And so I'm curious to see if this dries faster and if it actually dries to the touch and doesn't stay tacky. Right now, it's not tacky at all. And I had quite a bit on in some places. So it's a very nice product. I am recommending this product. So I bet that's cool, Joy, to hear the glass just keep cracking after you've whacked it. Because fortunately, I have not been in a car accident or something like that where you would have knowledge of some of those things. So, but I understand car glass does the same thing. It just keeps cracking. I have, however, our building is 100 years old plus. And one day, well, ever since I had been there had been these rock or bullet holes. I don't know if it was a bullet hole or if it was just where a rock had been hit against the window and left a mark. And they had always been there. And so the temperature would change. And when it started getting really, really cold, the glass cracks started growing. And you'd be sitting there in the office, and then all of a sudden you would hear, pop, and you'd look up, and the crack had grown, another couple of inches, and then it would get windy, and because it was old, the windows would rattle, and then of course the crack would grow, and it had grown to the point where it had gone 3 ways around these holes, and you could tell it was going to go. It was not going to hold it anymore. So we ordered some windows and had new windows put in, but there you go. Hi, Vaughn. This is my soft return to streaming. It's kind of like a soft opening. We'll have a grand opening next month. But this is my soft return.
Hey, buddy.
That's Sam the Mantha. For those who don't know. Vaughn, everybody, introduce yourselves to Vaughn. I know Vaughn from Mixed Media Mondays over with Tracy Weinsappel. Okay. I've got my beads everywhere. See them? Got beads. And beads. So, and Raven, hi. Hi, Raven. I had a bunch of people. I had a bunch of people come in. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I've been busy painting stuff. I don't know who Troy is, but welcome, Troy, and Queen Dragonfire, and Debbie Boop. That's a fun name. Hi, and Blue Eyes Angels. Feel free to jump in. My regulars don't bite normally, so feel free to be a part of our group. Long time no hear, Raven. Yay. I saw Raven at Scrapbook Convention, though. We were sitting there looking at Tim Holtz, and there she was between classes, and she said hi. I said, how are you? So, okay. I am going to start with a base coat of, these are Dazzling Metallics. I don't know if you've played with Dazzling Metallics. They're really pretty cool. Let's see if I can get it to focus for us. This one is called Patina. And the whole reason we got this one was because it's just glorious green, okay? Dark Patina is what it's called. And so I'm going to pour a little of that into my cap because I want to. I'm glad to be back. I am. I've missed streaming, but my main focus needed to be my son for a while. And I'm glad I took the time to do that. He needed me more than I needed to stream at the time, so. But he is doing much better, so. If you follow me on my blog, you can go back to a post called The Impact of Concussion. It was written a couple of weeks back, and it kind of gives you a story of what we've been dealing with for the last most of the year, since October, off and on. And explains part of why I've been absent from streaming some of it. Vaughn, that's okay. I don't have a groovy list like we have in the mixed media group, but they are very kind. They will tell you who they are if they don't know you. And if they don't, just, tell me and I'll beat up on them. Well, thank you, Don. I try to make cool things. Let's see. Today I'm upcycling a bottle. I do all kinds of things. This is my crafty gig. Crafty gig started 3 years ago. 3 years ago June. This is my going on my 3rd year, and I like if I've had a lot of people asking about a certain product or technique, sometimes I'll explore that. Like I've done Pearl X, and I've done alcohol inks, and I've done distress inks, and just different things like that. I've also, if I get a new toy that I want to play with, of course I'm going to do that. And so my new toy that I'm playing with tonight is Beacon Faux Finish Decoupage, because I really like that. Then also, sometimes I have a theme. Like in July, it's going to all be about Christmas, because I love Christmas in July. As a crafter, I have to start my presents all the way back in July. And so usually all of my crafts in July will be ornaments or countdown stuff, fun crafts to get that started. But I love upcycling. Mother Earth is important to me, and keeping her going for my kids, my grandkids, grandkids is important. So we've got all this plastic and bottles and things and cardboard, and I am compelled to craft with it. So instead of putting it in the landfill, we can make something beautiful with it. So that's who I am. I also am a card maker and a scrapbooker and a crocheter and a sewer. And so crafty gig, you could find me doing anything from paper crafts to mixed media, collage, to crochet, to felting. Some of the regulars can tell you things that we've covered. There's a complete video library in YouTube. My YouTube is leslierahye, and you can find tons of videos there. So, and then I like to do steampunky stuff, and that's kind of where this has started. I want the green underneath, and I'm going to come back over with some brown and some metal colors to kind of keep this going. But this started out as a glass bottle, obviously, and inspired by Andy Skinner and several of the other artists that I have been watching. And I'll kind of give some links when I post this on my blog, so everybody can see it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And I usually stream every other month. Or not every other month, sorry, every other week. I've been gone for a while. My son was having post-concussion syndrome after a secondary concussion. And in support of his recovery from that, we kind of went, technology free. So me being online streaming was not really fair to him so much. And so I would stream, or if I participated in chats and things with people, it would be when he was not around, or, and Friday afternoons, Friday evenings when I stream, he's home usually. So I need to be, with him, and we've done a lot of arting and done a lot of reading and done a lot of game playing, and just keeping each other company, preoccupied, having fun. So that's me in a nutshell, in a big nutshell. But so this is one of my upcycle / soon to be steampunky kinds of projects. Okay. So what do you think? I like it with the green patina. It's kind of a fun color in it. And then the beads, you can kind of see them, but kind of not. They look like little lumpies going on under there. So, Troy is saying he likes my fingernails. Thank you. I trade for fingernails. I do social media for a friend of mine, and she does my nails for me so that I can have beautiful nails for you guys. And sometimes they're, just pretty, and sometimes they're decorated. Today's more decorated. And then I have a friend also that works in the same salon, and she does art nails. So when no, we're not finished, Vaughn. We're just getting started. When when I was doing a gig for Prima, I did a quick one night tutorial thing for Prima. She painted the Prima flower on my thumbs, so it was very fun. So is Troy the right word to say? I didn't read when you gave your name. This is drying very fast. The middle is a little, but this up here, where I'm playing with up here, this is already dry. Isn't this cool? So I've put out some brown, and then I got a bunch of these. I've used the Echo Green paints before, but I got a bunch of these several months back at Tuesday Morning, and I love them, and I'm sad that they are discontinuing them. But what I'm doing is essentially a kind of a dry brush technique, only not so much. I want to get some color on here, but not too much color. Kind of take down the shine just a smidge, and then I'll put on some of the bronze shine too. So you can kind of see how that's doing. Okay. So, well, good, Troy. Because it looked like Troy is in Helena, so. The face that launched 1,000 ships. I have one of the pages I enjoy about Texas history. It's called Backroads of Texas. And they were talking about Texas Jack today. And I shared it because, as one of my other Texas friends noted, Texas Jack, the picture that they drew of him in his, in this Wild West show thing that they were doing, looks like Nicolas Cage. It was very, very cool. So, oh no, Dawn, you just got black paint everywhere. You're not supposed to paint on the keyboard, Dawn. So, I like me some Nicolas Cage. In fact, people will talk about their hot dates with their husbands and stuff, and they went to go see a chick flick. My husband takes me to see, like, The Expendables or, something with Nicolas Cage in it. And so that's how we do date night. Although we have a date night coming up with Despicable Me. That will be our date night. I'm using, just to rub off, a white cloth. This is like t-shirt material, and you can get a whole round of these, like a big old wad of them at, I believe my mom got these for me at probably at Sam's Club. So yeah, hazards of having a computer in the studio. I need to take a picture before I clean it off, but right now, with the misting and stuff that I've been doing, my printer has like red overspray and all that kind of stuff on it. It doesn't affect my printer, but it's decorative. So everybody should have overspray on their white printer. It just makes it prettier. I really love this green patina color. You will see me using it a lot in the future. Where I live, used to, the nearest crafty store was either all the way in Abilene or in Fort Worth. So it was, over an hour away. Well, we've recently got a Michael's about 30 minutes away. Still haven't been there. But so when my mom, who lives in the Metroplex and has a plethora of crafty stores nearby, goes and there's a sale on something, she'll call. And how I got green paint was she called one day and she said, there's paint on sale. And Bubba had been doing a lot of art journaling. And so she was trying to get him some art journal stuff. And because he'd been using my gesso and using my Mod Podge, and we did a lot of that because we couldn't do television or anything else. So she called and she says, what do you want? And I said, some green paint, because they kept using my green paint. And green is one of my favorite colors. And she came with like 6 different tubes of green paint. So I'm sorry you have a headache, Raven. I am recording it, and so I'll put it up on YouTube, and then I'll also, because we're coming on 9:20, so I don't think I'm going to be finished by 10 o'clock. So what I will do is I will finish it up and put it up. It's going to be part of my blog hop on Monday. So, and then Fab has joined us. Hi, Fab. It's okay that you're late. I'm surprised you're here. Fab is in London, England, and it is way late over there. But I am honored that you have made a presence in my soft return to streaming. Fab is one of my original Odd Show buddies. Odd Show. Oh, I guess we should talk about Odd Show, shouldn't we, girls? The Odd Show has not gone away. We are just taking a little summer break. And we will be coming back to you in the fall. With all that was going on with Will, and end of school, and summer, and everybody going places and doing things, it was decided that we needed a break. So we will do Odd Show again later. So here it is with Little Brown on. And then I'm going to come in and kind of do the same thing with some copper. And I'm putting paint in my brush, and then I'm taking it back off so I don't get it too... Usually, if you're doing a true dry brush, you would have even less paint in your brush than I have right now. So this is kind of a quasi dry brush. So don't do what I'm doing and then tell someone you're dry brushing, because you kind of aren't. You're doing a modified dry brush. But look, with the bronze put back on. Let me see if I can do that for you. You see, with the brown and then the bronze back on there. Yeah, I did have too much on my plate for a while, so I really kind of like how that looks, guys. I think we all kind of had some stuff on our plates for a while. I try not to let it bother me, but sometimes it just does. You know? And when it does, you just need to stop. I've jumped down. I'll come back around on these beads in a minute with the bronze, but I've jumped down because I want to pick up some of this wrinkle that I got going on. I love layers. These are really cool. And the finish on the tissue paper with the fast finish decoupage is wonderful. It is taking this paint perfectly, and I'm not having any problems. It dried so quickly. It's not, trying to pick that paper back up. So I really like this. I really like this product. I think I might be converting. I will see how I feel after I actually do some stuff in my journal with it. But for the projects I've done recently, I really do like it. I want to put a little more brown back there. I got a little carried away in that one spot. So I'm just kind of dusting over the holes where the beads are under the paper, and you can kind of see the holes popping up. That's kind of cool. I'm using just an ever so light brush to go over the top of where these wrinkles are. So I'm liking that a lot. Oops. Got a little much there. Okay, this bronze paint is also one of my favorites now. Okay. Can you see the little holes on the beads? How the bronze on there just kind of popped them up. Over here. Isn't that neat? I like it, like it, like it. Very fun. And again, it's like the dry brushing is such a delicate technique. I mean, delicate in that, you know, you're not putting a whole lot of paint on it, and it just makes it really very smooth. You know, just and it dries so fast. So I'm loving that. Let's see. I think I want to go back and put a little bit of the gold in there too. No, no, it's not a prop for a pirate movie. I know, it just layers up so pretty. I want to put a little gold in there. Let's see if I haven't even used the gold. What? The gold is still... We have to use the gold because the gold has not been used. My mom is big on when she gets a die cut, the first thing she does is cut it. Or when she gets a stamp, she goes home and she stamps it. And I'm pretty good about that. And I kind of feel the same way about paint and markers. I have to use them, check them out, do a check it out thing. So that this beautiful gold has not been touched is just, it's just horrible. You should touch it. So it's an interesting texture of paint. Thanks, Joy. That could be a prop for a pirate movie, couldn't it, Fab? Yeah, this is funky texture. Okay. Let's see. I think I want to put it kind of in here in the center. Get a little, but not on the ends. Because I like the copper, the bronzy, not copper, the bronze on the buttons. I think I want this here. If I wanted to get real crazy, I could have painted the bottle black and then done these on there. Wouldn't that have been cool? And when I'm pulling the paint back off with this, I'm not rubbing real hard. Just a little. Just a smidge. Yay, you're back. I'm so glad. Oh. Ooh, boo. Hang on. We had some beads that decided to come off. They were wet and when I painted on them. So, maybe making a repair there here in a minute. Look at it with the gold stuck in there. It's kind of an interesting little addition. I'm not going to do the gold on this side or this side. I'm just going to do the gold right there. And then the top I'm going to handle differently, so we're not going to see that at all. But I'm sorry y'all are having to deal with commercials. When I become rich and famous, I promise the first thing I'll do is buy y'all free streaming. But I'm not sure how rich and famous I have to be because, you know, let's face it, Prima still has ads too, so I'm not sure how long that has to be before we're rich and famous. I'll add that to my list. If I win the lottery, I'll take care of my parents' debt and our debt, buy new cars all around for my mom and dad and us, pay up any bills, and pay for free Ustream. There you go. Or ad-free Ustream. Because that's important, right? You'll be rich and famous in 50 years. Fab, did you see where J.K. Rowling said that she chooses to stay in London where taxes are higher because since she was on government assistance before she was J.K. Rowling, she feels that she needs to give back and that paying her taxes is her giving back. So, there you go. I'm liking that. Are y'all liking that? Okay. So part of me wonders, I want to add a piece of this. Yeah, without the government support, she would not be where she is today. So, I haven't read anything she's written since the Harry Potter books, but I do like me some Harry Potter books. So, yeah. Well, she did a lot for child literacy without giving anything to them at all because so many kids picked up books to read because of Harry Potter and how fabulous those books were. And what was so cool about how she wrote them is their reading levels went up as she wrote them, so that if you started reading them in, 5th, 6th grade and kept reading them as you went, your reading level went up, and so did the level of the book. Does that make sense? Oh well. You'll read Harry Potter when you end up on the street. No! Oh, I know. They are really good books. I hadn't read fiction in a very long time and was working in a library, and that is all the kids wanted is Harry Potter books, Harry Potter books. And so I decided to check it out and see what all the fuss was about. And it's really well written and well done. It's very good, and it's very addictive. So I read it so I could have something to talk to my young library patrons about, but ended up becoming a fan myself. Even went to a midnight release party for the last book. So I am using the Fast Finish decoupage font to add this piece of trim on, and it's holding it pretty good. So I'm just getting the lace soaked, and it's holding on to the painted surface. So I'm going to put some more paint over it. I'm not going to keep it this color, but you're reading 50 Shades of Blue. Fab. You're so funny. Let's see. Right now, what am I reading? I'm rereading Alice in Wonderland. I was getting inspired for the upcoming release of the Mailbox Muse kit, which is Utterly Mad Tea Party. Alice's Utterly Mad Tea Party. So I was rereading that, and it was very, very cute. And in some places, I think, wow, wow. And I want to reread. Well, actually, I want to read the whole series of Oz books, Baum's Oz book. I was sadly disappointed when I was not able to make it to the movie theater when Oz the Great and Powerful came out. And so as soon as I could rent it from Redbox, I rented it. And I'm glad I rented it and I didn't buy it, because it was okay. It was just okay. Interesting story, just okay. It was very, very predictable, and it was okay. So, but I do want to reread all of the Oz books, the whole series. Yeah, this is working awesome. I am loving this. It's doing a good job. So, but it's on there, guys. That might take a minute to dry, so I'm gonna leave that section of the bottle alone for a moment. But yeah, I love how that went on. I just dabbed enough on there. Get that out of the way. I dabbed enough on there to get it to stick, to get it to soak through and stick. But look, I'm touching it right here, and it's damp, but it's almost dry. Yeah, the opening sequence was better than the rest of the movie. So it was, I don't know. It's predictable though. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and see it. It's predictable. It's very predictable. So I was hoping for a little more, I don't know, pizzazz or something. I don't know. But it was highly predictable to me. Don's saying worth watching. So not worth owning though, but worth watching. And I have The Wizard of Oz in, DVD and in VHS, and one day maybe in Blu-ray, but that's me. So okay. What I'm going to do for the top is to use some of this. This is Sari Silk, okay? And I'm going to add it around the top of the bottle. So I'm going to, again, use my Fast Finish decoupage. There we go. I'm getting it dampened. I guess I could have just draped it in there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's drape it in there. And now I will have it all over my nails, but I will get the what do you call it? The scrubby after it. Oh yeah, this is gonna work better because I can. There we go. Oh, this is cool. This is going to take a while to dry. But I like, yeah, I like how this looks. Hang on a minute. I'll turn it sideways so you can see it. I'm going to stick, no, that's going to stick right there. Huh, that's cool. Okay. I was going to shove this under, but, and I still may, shove this under this lip right here. There we go. Okay. Check it. And then that'll dry and hopefully closer back to the green that it started out. So, isn't that cool? And I'm sticking my finger in the hole to make sure that I still have a hole here because I want to put a cork in here. So, the Geico commercials are funny. Watashi wa suki dusu. I probably completely butchered that. Oh, and he's listening to an ad. I am sticking my fingers in my paint water because I think I've lost all of my little short people that would go and get me some water. So, aha, it's not stuck. Save to the manicure. Thank you. No, not that that matters. So there you go. I've got this all stuck on here, and I'm gonna let it dry and take on that shape. I'll be curious to see how that holds. I think it'll hold that shape really well, and already it's kind of dry and setting up. I think that's very fun, actually. So, and I'm going to do some more stuff around the edges. I'm looking at the time. It's already 9:45, guys. Wow, where did time go? Thank you, Vaughn. So, I have a bunch of stuff, a bunch of trinkety things. Let me see if I can grab them. Where'd I put them? That I'm going to play with. I don't have these sorted out yet. Let me show you. I have all these trinkety things. Look at this. And that, let's see. Here we go. See them? A bag of all kinds of fun. And beads and loopies and isn't that great? And then here is this is silver. And then I have kind of a brass one. I'm mostly got the silver to use with alcohol markers because these will take these very well and color them. Much like when I colored these beads here. Those were colored with alcohol markers. You see? And these were colored with alcohol markers. So, that will be fun. This is my wrap bracelet that I made. That is a lot of fun to wear. It wraps around. Let's see if I can get it to it because I'm special ed today. Let's see. See, it wraps around you and ties. So this is some more of the washi silks. Isn't that fun? But so I'm gonna play with those, and I've got some brass stuff also that will be kind of fun to go with it. And I have these little bottles here and some other little bottles that I may or may not decide to use with it. I don't know. But this may dangle off the side. I don't know. Yeah, or glue them side by side. Lots of fun shapes and stuff in here. So that's kind of where I'm going. Where did I get the bags of metal bits? At our bead store. The whole bag was $5. And I got to pick it out. So, lots of fun goodness in here. If you need me to go pick you some beads, I can go do that. So, or if you want, if you look up A Time to Bead on Facebook, you can ask them to go make you a baggie of beads. So, But they have an Etsy store also. But like, look at this silver one. Hang on. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. See if I can get it to take on the whole. There it goes. Okay, you see, it's got flowers. It's got little skulls. You see the little skull over here? That's a little skull. It's got these rings. It's got fish. See the keys? Isn't that cool? And what I do is I picked out what I wanted, and Sam picked out what she wanted. Oh, look, there's little wings. Funky little flowers. Like Sam picked out this. She wanted this piece. I pick out what I want, what I really, really need. And then I grab a bunch of little beads and put in the top. And so the bottom is what I really, really wanted. And then the top is just full of little beads of all shapes and sizes. So there you go. I don't know how much this would weigh. If you want, I will weigh them for you and see how much it would cost to ship you one. And if you trust me to go grab metal for you, I can do that. No problem. But our bead store does that, and I love it. So those are lots of fun. So those are going to be used on that. This is, guys, this is getting, I mean, this up here is almost dry to the touch. And what I think I might do is kind of dry brush just a smidge to highlight some of the folds and stuff in there. But I really like how that looked. And this, I'm going to go back over down here. This is still wet. This, I put a lot, admittedly, I put a lot of product on that one. In fact, I just stuck it with my stucky finger. I put a lot of product on this, and so this will take a while to dry. I will let it sit and dry. And actually, I think I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut this so it doesn't have to spend as much time right there drying. There we go. But, yeah, $5 a bag. It's local, but they have an Etsy store, and I bet you if you inboxed a time to bead, that they will, I bet they would figure out for you how much to ship it, or, like I said, I could go down there if you wanted me to and take care of that for you. So, anyway, once this dries, I will go back over it with paint and bring it back to this color. I meant to do that earlier, but neglected. So, alrighty. Any other questions? These are the toys I'm going to play with. Bill got some beads too. Y'all want to see Bill's beads? Oh, this is also what I got. Look, Buddhas. I got little Buddhas. Aren't they funny? Or Tibetan dudes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, if that was disrespectful. Bill got some more of these beads to play with his stuff, his paracord things. So, and these were like 50 cents a piece. And these color up really, really nice. My blog address. I think Vaughn likes Leslie Ray's fan page. So if Vaughn likes Leslie Ray's fan page, she can find her way to my blog very easily. Somebody see if we can type stuff. So if you want to type my Kim tag is the easiest way to find everything. I'm Leslie Ray on Kim tag. And then that will get you to all my stuff. And just spell Leslie Ray correctly, and it'll get you there. And yes, then the rest of the news is I've already set up the events for my streams in July. So go like those, and it will remind you. And of course, I will show those on my fan page and on my blog. I think the Tibetan beads are made maybe out of plastic. I don't think they're like a carved howlite or anything. They seem plasticky. So Bill's beads are covetable. Yes, they are. I have some of my own too because he doesn't share. But yeah, Bill's beads are covetable. So he has been wanting some of the little skeleton guys are his too. He's been wanting some of those to do his craftiness with. So I have to share. But he is allowing me to have a couple of the skeleton guys for Day of the Dead stuff. So I'm pleased with that. We try to share. He shares better than I do sometimes. So that's what I know. But that's what we did on our 21st wedding anniversary. We went off to the bead store and bought some beads. So sayonara, Mr. Fab. Thank you for coming by. I'm glad you came to see me. And I will be back in July. Off the top of my head, I set up the things, and I can't remember off the top of my head which days. But if you're looking at the Ustream, you should be able to see when the next 2 shows are in July. And of course, I'll make my my little goobers. What do you call those? My events on Facebook, and we'll have a grand reopening in July. Today was just kind of about having fun and relaxing and getting back into the and covering this bottle. And it is completely dry up here, guys. It is all dry. This is dry. These are wet still. This is wet still. But the rest is dry. Well, thank you, Vaughn. I'm glad you had fun. It's recorded. I'll be putting it up on YouTube probably this weekend sometime. And I'll be finishing my bottle. And I think I'm going to be putting it in my blog hop. Or I may just be finishing my bottle and just sharing it and share something else on my blog hop. I don't know. But I'm enjoying where the bottle is going. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. I am going to sign off and enjoy my evening with my honey. And I think my children are probably already asleep because I'm not hearing much from them. And I thank you all for coming. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.